Hey everybody, Adam Savage, and I am at Prop Store in London with Tim Laws. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm between two of my favorite spacesuits, so how could I be anything but great? We have on the left here, this is Red Planet.
Yep, this is Birchinal, which was Tom Sizemore. And I'm sure you'll tell me, but this fabric seemed to be on every spacesuit in the early 2000s. It's fantastic. I love the color of this thing too.
But this is why I actually called out to do a piece on both of these, because spacesuits are often, they're gray, they're primary colors, but both of these are sort of specular, really unique colors. We got this green and we got this blue, and Red Planet really leaned into that specular of the purple to blue.
It's a really nice costume. The other thing I like about this one in particular is the advertising. I feel like that the company logos.
That's far out.
I feel that's a really obvious thing that would happen in the future. To me, that makes sense.
Right, the public-private partnership. And Red Planet comes out long before SpaceX or Blue Origin or any of that, and they surmised that that was going to happen. I actually, years ago, I collected at an auction a bin of service parts from the crew for these suits. So I actually happen to know that back here, I believe there was a full water circulation system for the chests of the actors, because there's an actual water pump here. That's an actual water pump, and this was real Tygon tubing that went to something in the suit. So I'm quite convinced they had active cooling. And look, they've actually gone to a more robust fabric back here, but they've given it that same specular paint job.
Yeah, and it's given the suit a lot of strength as well, that backpack.
And I will also point out, this is one you'll have to come around and get coverage of, the lenticular flag patch on the shoulder.
Cool. I was sure in the year 2000, what year? 2000, wasn't it? Red Planet. So yeah, that's probably state of the art.
I really, just again, the yellow visor, they took honeycomb aluminum and filled it with resin.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite part of the design.
It's really beautiful. Yeah. I mean, it does that thing which filmmakers need, which is brings light into the helmet without inhibiting the actor's ability to see.
I just think just changing the lens of the visor there, it just makes it futuristic. It makes it different.
I also note that the fabric for 22-year-old fabric is holding up.
It's really there doesn't seem to be any degradation to this one at all.
And that makes me very happy. I actually, when it comes to the Viper suit, I own a replica made from the same exact fabric. And of course, because I've seen a lot of my vinyl fabrics deteriorate and delaminate over time, I wanted to see an original and see, and it's in fantastic
But again,
shape.
the condition is the same. It's not deteriorated at all. Only the sort of wear and tear that was on set.
Yeah. There is, I noticed just a little, sometimes in the hero suit, some deterioration around this wrist
It's on the
piece.
cuff there, yeah.
A couple of things I noticed about, and this is a Viper from the Battlestar Galactica reboot. Do we know who wore this?
No, they're very generic, and there were very few helmets. So again, the helmet was an unidentified character, but it's such a visual piece when you put it all together.
It really, really is. And again, you know, I've talked about looking through your guys' spacesuit collection, how many of the suits do callbacks to the development of real spacesuits. But both of these feel like a much more futuristic approach.
Yeah, no sort of pressurization. There's no sort of, they're very easy to maneuver. You know, it's what you'd hope when we go to space. Well, we're still young enough to do that.
As soon as we have the metamaterials that can actually create that artificial mechanical pressure rather than the suit pressure. I also love the way these guys took two different approaches to building complexity. You've got this hard upper torso, and then you've got this kind of almost like a diaper harness.
Yeah, it's like a climbing rig, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very, I mean, for a simple piece to put on, it adds a tremendous amount of visual complexity. Whereas in Battlestar Galactica, they've gone with this really interesting suede vest thing.
Very simple. And obviously you got the flight plan and the...
I love the pocket flight plan. Was this how do you say it? Was this acquired with both pieces at once?
I believe the helmet came separately when I think the suit was acquired at the original Battlestar auction in 2008, I think.
Yeah.
And I think we had to track down a helmet subsequently.
I will tell you that this fabric is only made in multiple 100-yard batches. And I know that fans have gotten together to buy a bunch.
I was going to say you had to buy some. Yeah.
Yeah. And you have to do it as a group buy because there's no way to do it otherwise. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to call out. Do you have details you love about the Viper suit?
I just love as you say, the very sort of slimline style of it. I think it's futuristic. Battlestar's got that whole retro feel to it, even though it's futuristic. I just think this is super cool.
It's a real stunning. And I love seeing these two together. They're both such different executions of similar problems. Really, really lovely.
Yeah, much
examples.
of the same materials, and yet they're very different, as you say.
Indeed. Thank you, Tim. Thanks
My pleasure.
Let me walk through these. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to support us even further, you can by becoming a tested member. Details are, of course, below, but it includes all sorts of perks, and we're building them all the time. You get advanced Word and behind-the-scenes photos of some of our projects. Questions, you get to ask direct questions during my live streams, and we have some members-only videos, including the Adam real-time series of unbroken, unedited shots of me working here in the shop. They are weirdly meditative. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you on the next one.